To all of you who said, oh, you forgot Angry Bird Stella, or Jake, you stupid little guy, what about Angry Birds Rio? And especially everyone demanding I rank Ice Bird, well, guess what, people? Today I forget no longer. This is ranking every Angry Birds bird, part 2. The first one covered the classic flock, seasons, and a few of the others. Today, we rank Angry Bird Space with Ice Bird, Super Red, Lightning Birds, Lazer Bird, Space Bomb, Monster Bird, Cosmic Bubbles, Space Eagle, Space Egg, Slash, Mighty Buzzard, Toucan Sam, and Skunk Bird. Then we move to Angry Birds Rio with Blue, Jewel, Rafael, Luiz, Nico, Pedro, Nigel, Caged Birds, Caged Dolphin, and Felipe. Then we're going to do Angry Birds Stella with Poppy, Luca, Willow, Dahlia, and Gale. And then we will finish out with a group of weirdos like last time, which includes DeVito Bird, Sonam Kapoor Bird, Damon Bird, and Smurfs. And just for all of you who requested it, why don't we wrap up with Piggy McCool? As mentioned before, we are merely scratching the surface of birds in this franchise, so as long as you guys are still enjoying the series, I'm more than happy to keep making it. I'm going to rank these birds on a clean, fresh tier list and then bash the two together when we're done today. That's all the introduction I wanted to do, so let's find out which of these birds deserve tons and tons of riches, and which ones shall be burned with all their fellow left-handed witches. People are going nuts over Ice Bird, so I figured we might as well start with him. He might be one of the most memorable characters from the spin-offs, but I don't really get why. I've never liked his power. Unless I'm using him right before the blues, I'm not too happy. Every bird got a super OP power in the game, so it was sad to see Ice Bird over here just making things a little icy. But still, despite his weak power, in my opinion at least, this guy's just way past cool. He is an actual alien who has the appearance of an ice cube and a cute little tuft of ice hair at the top. He is by far one of the coolest birds, considering the ice and everything, who generally feels like he should have become part of the flock. Did you know he was planned to be in Angry Birds Go? Or that he shows up in Boba's delivery short? Imagine him being added as an extra bird in Angry Birds 2. I would love that so much. I know you all think he's S, and I really like him too, so let's do it. The rest of the space variants are going to have a hard time topping Ice Bird, so let's see. The first one is Super Red, who looks virtually the same other than the sleek black visor they gave him, and apparently making his feathers spiky is futuristic or something? Yeah, that's called being lame, dude. Now for his power. I'd like you to watch this clip very closely. Did you see it? Let's watch again. Right there! He vibrates a little bit when you tap. How awesome is that? Oh, it's not? You're telling me that the only thing that makes Red super is his spiky hair and ability to vibrate on command? If you ask me, you're kinda pushing your luck, Scoob. C tier. So the Lightning Birds had the exact same power that the Blues already had. According to the wiki, when they hit a surface there's an electric shock, but it does not actually do anything and is merely for show. Off to a great start, huh? I also think they have the most boring new look out of the flock, almost looking like some fans of the Flash at Comic-Con or something. Sorry guys, but you're gonna be our first D tier. Lazer Bird gives you the most control we'd seen so far in these games, since you tap to make him go exactly where you want him to. Plus he's purple now, which is really awesome. The visor is so cool, his little lightning tuft of hair is so cool, he's so cool! This is what regular Chug wishes he could be like. Not only is his power awesome, but his design is too. Gotta be S tier. While Bomb doesn't change powers at all in his new space form, he looks pretty dang cool. The orange colors are a nice contrast, and his extra flamey head is just badass. If he had a cool new power as well, I'd be happy to put him in S. Sadly, he's gonna have to go in A tier. Now, Monster Bird is what I've been waiting for. He's a mean green killing machine. Like, he'd actually steal your girl and get away with it. I might be a little biased about this one since I had the plushie of him as a kid rather than the regular Terrence. Still, I don't think he can be S considering his power is just being a beefcake and also that he's just green now. This Jolly Green Giant can go into A tier for all I care. Cosmic Bubbles was not in the original game but was added to the flock later on. I really wish we would have seen more birds get a space form, and it's pretty crazy we never got some like Hal, Matilda, or Stella. I'm sure I can find some DeviantArt gold of those though. It's also weird that there aren't any female characters in this game. Enough about sexism though, let's talk about Bubbles. I know my inflation-loving homies have been waiting with bated breath since the last time we talked about him. I really think he has a cute costume and it especially looks fun when he's inflated. However, they totally nerfed his power to the point where he doesn't even bump into anything when he deflates. He's cute, I love me some good inflation, but he sadly has to go in B tier. Just when you thought the Mighty Eagle couldn't get any cooler, we got the Space Eagle! He's kind of just like a darker, edgier version of the regular one, but this time he zooms forward at the camera rather than horizontally, which makes sense for this game's gameplay. While I do think he's kinda cooler, I think an actual evolution of his design could have looked awesome rather than just being a little purple. I'm thinking A tier. While I kinda dogged on the basic looking eggs in the first list, the space egg kinda deserves a spot this time around. It is playable with a unique power and everything. The egg will pull the objects around it towards it, which can be pretty good, but usually more frustrating than anything. Plus the design isn't anything too crazy either, just a little antenna and that's it. I like it better than the regular egg though, so I guess it's a C tier. Okay, you can have any celebrity as a bird in this game. Who should it be? Don't worry, I know exactly who you're thinking. Slash! Right? You were thinking Slash. You weren't thinking Slash? Freak you! Despite not caring about him whatsoever, he does look pretty awesome as a bird. He even made a unique theme for the game, which is pretty cool too. While Slash might not have been the bird you wanted, he's the bird you deserve. A tier. Just when you thought the Mighty Eagle couldn't get any cooler, we got the Mighty Buzzard! Wait a second. What the actual freak is on my screen right now? When I asked for a spacified version of the Mighty Eagle, this is not what I meant! Get this pedo out of here! Okay, maybe I should be nice. This is supposed to look like Buzz Aldrin. I don't know, maybe they should have went with Buzz Lightyear instead. This is just kind of uncanny. You somehow ruined the Mighty Eagle. I think it's gotta be D tier. Dude! Toucan Sam! An actual mascot aside of the Angry Birds franchise that's actually a bird. Maybe this guy inspired the movie designs. Either way, it's kind of crazy he only ever appeared in Angry Birds Space. Weirdly, this is yet another Mighty Eagle clone, but it looks a lot weirder to have Toucan Sam's smiling face demolish a bunch of pigs. I gotta give them props for including an actual bird, but I'm probably gonna have to follow my nose on this one. B tier. I'm not sure if any of you are ready for this one. Feast your eyes on Skunk Bird. That's right, if you played Angry Birds Space, I bet you never got to the secret level with Skunk Bird. Mostly because, well, it doesn't exist. This was an April Fool's joke, which apparently some people were tricked into thinking this was Matilda's space form? That would have been like really cruel actually. Still, it makes me sad this isn't real. This guy has more potential than most of the regular birds and could have been another newcomer like Ice Bird. I love you, Skunk Bird, and you better too. He'll find you. Don't underestimate this guy. Anyway, C tier. It's time for the crossover of the century. Angry Birds Rio! Blue is the first one to rank, but it's honestly a little difficult to do so. He comes in many forms with different powers and everything. Let's start with his more Angry Birdified form that doesn't appear in the game but they use for his plush form. Honestly, I much prefer this look, and find it weird these birds were left as just actual birds alongside the flock. In game he starts out chained up to Jewel, where he doesn't really do anything, so we'll save that for when we talk about Jewel. On his own, as soon as he bumps into something he freaks out, knocking over stuff in the process. He even has a unique power in the Rio 2 levels, but I think I've gone on long enough here. I like you, Blue. I appreciate that you've got some unique powers, but you stand out like a sore thumb amongst the Angry Birds. I'm gonna say B tier. Jewel also got an Angry Birds form, although this one's a little more difficult to look at. She definitely looks best in her normal form. As for her powers, they kinda did her dirty, as she's only able to be used when she's chained to Blue. Enough about sexism though, this has the opposite of Silver or Tony's power, where she flies horizontally until running into something. This power has a lot of potential, but sadly felt underused in the game. Like I said, she really should have gotten a chance to be her own character like Blue did. But I definitely like Jewel and her potential more, but she got underused, so she will go and be with Blue. So now we rank Rafael, a character who showed up in a single cutscene of the game. He also got an Angry Birds form, although this one is considerably worse than how he normally looks. I'm impartial to the other toucans like Hal and Toucan Sam, so this guy isn't doing anything for me. D tier. Thankfully, Luiz the Bulldog actually does something in this game. Other than just kinda looking cool, he runs back and forth on a level in the game popping beach balls at any enemies that come near him. He's kind of a cute, dopey little guy, and I'm very thankful they didn't attempt to hack off his limbs for an Angry Birds form this time around. Just one last important thing though, he's not a bird, D tier. The next two characters are kind of funny considering neither actually show up in the game. Despite this, they both got a plush version of themselves in an Angry Birds form. Nico works pretty well with his bottle cap hat. He kinda do be styling a little bit. Can't go higher than C though. Pedro's the other half of the duo, who looks a lot lamer in his bird form. I feel like they just did a way worse job capturing him than they did with Nico. He's gotta go in D then. I almost forgot to include Nigel since he isn't categorized as an ally of the birds. He's definitely a bird though, so it would be weird to not include him with the others. Nigel makes for some really cool boss fights, and I generally find him to be a bit menacing. Let's not talk about his Angry Birds form though. I really enjoyed the boss fights against him, and I love the design he has. I'm gonna say S tier. Something I really love about Angry Birds Rio was the different quote-unquote enemies for the series. The pigs are completely replaced by cage birds and marmosets. It totally makes sense for the narrative, and I wish we saw it more in the other entries in the series. Either way, I'm going to group all of the cage birds into one spot, rather than going through like 10 birds that have different colors and are slightly more sad looking than the others. What's even more strange is these guys look more like Angry Birds than Blue or Jewel, which keeps the trend of flip-flopping the way birds look in this game. Can you make up your freaking mind already? Sorry, we're almost through with Rio. All I have to say is these guys are pretty cute, they're a nice change of pace from the normal enemies, and they're going in B tier. Dolphins? Finally! Everyone knows that the superior form of bird is the dolphin. Birds can't breathe underwater, so obviously dolphins are here to take their place in the water levels. Honestly, if we could have seen some river dolphins, this would be S tier. Those freaks of nature terrify me, yet I can't help but want to know more. So because of that, these guys go in A tier. Who the freak is Felipe? When all the wiki has is one screenshot from the game of the most basic cookie cutter tropical bird I've ever seen, you know this has no right even appearing on this list. So bye bye little freaking birdie, go in D. Get in there! Finally, we are out of Rio and into some really awesome additions to the flock from Angry Birds Stella. As I said in my Angry Birds games ranking video, I really love Stella, and part of that reason was the brand new cast of birds with insane powers. I would not be surprised if all these guys fill up the top 2 tiers. The first new one is Poppy, since we obviously have already covered Stella. Poppy is what Silver dreamed she could be. The ability to drill down through any material is pretty amazing. Not to mention, she's the cooler yellow bird in my opinion. I definitely like a couple of the other birds better than her though, so I'm thinking B tier. Luca's the little baby of the group. He's the blue bird, but way better than them cause he screams and destroys all the grass in his way. No, not grass. Never mind. Freak off. Never mind. Freak off. You guys are always making fun of the way I talk. One of these days I'm gonna scream like Luca does, and then you'll be sorry. Luca's the weakest bird of the game and deserves a C tier. Nobody touched my GF Willow. She's maybe one of the most powerful birds of all time. Not only can she be aimed in any direction you want, but she spins through structures like they're nothing. And honestly, the hat and hair combo is really fun. She may look like just another bluebird, but she's not. She's not like all the other bluebirds. She's special, okay? C tier. No, what's S tier? S tier. I meant S tier. Dahlia also has a pretty insane power. Teleportation. And that's not all. She also gets to decimate anything standing in her way once she reappears. I love this power, and she probably has one of my favorite designs of the game. The orange just works really well, I don't know. Gotta be S2. Gale is one of my favorite concepts for a bird, as she's kind of the queen of the pigs in this game. We also never saw another purple bird after this point. I said, never saw another one. Still, I didn't really realize she was playable until now. Maybe I just forgot, but either way, her power seems super bland compared to every other character. All you do is paint a line over a structure, and she flies through it. Considering every other bird's power is leagues better than this, it just feels underwhelming. I really like her design and character though, so she gets an A tier. And now we go balls to the walls, baby! Danny DeVito Bird! If we hadn't already seen Obama Bird, I'd be kneeling and praying to my new god here. Can I offer you an egg in these trying times? No? Well, how about an S tier instead? And then we have Sonam Kapoor Bird. Look, I'm sure you're great and all, but I don't actually know who this is. All I've seen is she's a pretty famous Indian actress. She's kinda hot as an Angry Bird, not gonna lie, so why not? A tier. Get this off my screen! Who the freak let Matt Damon Bird in here? If Danny DeVito Bird is a god, then Matt Damon Bird is the Antichrist. Matt Demon Bird, if you will. I thought Chuck was the worst yellow bird, but that award can gladly be given to Matt Demon Bird. D tier, obviously. And now we have Smurfs. Not a Smurf, not even the Smurfs, just Smurfs. This is just kinda sad, honestly. Imagine if all the cage birds in Rio were just Smurfs instead. What's weird is he's not even that upset about being caged up, he just looks bored. I'd also love to see an Angry Birds form of a Smurf, where it's just their head and a beak or something. Anyways, if this was Smurfette in a cage, you might pique my interest, but otherwise this is just weird. D tier. This is it. I saved a highly requested character for last, and that's none other than Piggy McCool. What I don't get is, how do people know his name? Wait a second, this guy showed up in Epic? Oh no, I totally sounded super confident about Sonic being the only one. What the freak? I guess I have to take responsibility. I, Jake Miller, humbly apologize for being wrong about the amount of playable characters from Angry Birds Epic. I believe that Sonic was the only addition, yet I cannot deny the facts. Not everyone is perfect, you know. Some people like Angry Birds Epic, other people think Chuck is cool. We're all flawed, really. So I stand here before you all today, diaper in hand, ready to rank none other than Piggy McCool. I hope you all accept my apology. And accept the fact that Piggy McCool is not a bird. D tier. We've once again finished the list. Looks nice, right? Wham! Put them together. Look at that S tier, not looking so hot, huh? Also, this guy said I was a hypocrite for ranking Penguin too low, and you know what? I took that personally, so here he is in B tier where he belongs. If I'm ever a hypocrite, just let me know and I'll fix my mistake. I want to hear your thoughts on all these birds, so please join my Discord so we can talk about it. Maybe we can talk a little about Sasha Lynx too. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. I was blown away by the immediate success of the first list, so I'm really hoping we can keep this one going. I also think I'll make a poll for the next iteration. I'm torn between covering the Star Wars games next, or switching up and ranking the bad Piggies. Let me know what you'd want to see first. Before that though, I've got a little Angry Birds endeavor I'd like to take you all on first. Stay tuned. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you soon. Goodbye. Okay, everyone's still listening right now? Go to the comments and type, "You forgot Stinky Steve," okay? Everyone's gonna be like, "I've never heard of Stinky Steve," and we're gonna make Stinky Steve a real Angry Birds character. I can't wait to see all you Stinky Stevers in the comments. This is gonna be freaking sweet.